Ah, good morning. Good morning, my dear audience. This is Calvan, and some ask, who is he? He seems a little off kilter. Well, I call this sermon, so to speak, the metric of the fruit. My audience has seen what I've been doing for the most part. I've been uploading and streaming frequently enough that proof should be in the pudding. Yet somehow, according to one person, I can be in Atlanta and Rochester simultaneously harassing her while I'm somehow cooking. Yet no. Quantum entanglement does not work that way, and frankly, neither does reality. If you're here, you probably heard the rumors, the hit jobs, or the sanitized version of my reputation cooked up by people who never met me. So let's clear the air. You want to know who Calvan is? You won't find it in a spreadsheet, a donor report, or a corporate HR manual. I live in Atlanta, a city that loves to mask its rot with high minded rhetoric. I've even been caught in the crosshairs of the political machine, both left and right, because I refuse to play by either of their rules. They want to turn racism into a proprietary color coded commodity. They want you to believe that morality is something you inherit from your ancestors, while something you earn by signing a loyalty pledge to a political party. I reject that wholesale and think it's idiotic. I don't look at the faces, I look at the fruit. I look at character. I look at the content of a man's life and the loyalty he shows to the people around him. I live with Mexican E, a man I call a brother and a friend, and we don't need a political chaperone to manage our relationship. We don't need a government or a moral organization to tell us how to coexist. We do it through mutual respect, something the brass at places like the Salvation Army clearly wouldn't recognize if it slapped them in the face. They tried to burn me over a lie, an accusation from a man named V, whom I've long since forgiven because I have the capacity to move forward. He was a pawn in a game he didn't understand, but the brass, they didn't want the truth. They didn't want to hear about my life or the fact that my vocabulary is so clean of the prohibited words that I'm more likely to misread my own scripts in the most hilarious ways possible. They didn't want a human being. They wanted a scalp to hang on their wall to keep their donors happy. But here is the line I draw. You want to talk about protected classes? You want to talk about the real scum of the earth? Fine, let's talk about the child molesters again. These people are the only bottom feeders that deserve the full weight of the society's contempt. They are the true irredeemable, bright on the surface, bright blight on the species. And yet, in this inverted, sick reality we live in, these monsters are treated with more institutional protection than an innocent man who just happens to refuse to bow to the manufactured narrative. They will ruin you over a word you didn't say, but they will not look the other way for but oh, I misread. But they will look the other way for the predators who actually tear human lives apart. That's not justice. In fact, that's a crime. Who is Calvan? Calvan is a Gnostic who sees the game for exactly what it is. I'm an individual who refuses to apologize for existing outside the political cages. I am someone who values real human connection over performative bureaucratic posturing. If you are here for content, if you are here for sanitized, focus grouped, safe for work versions of human beings, you're in the wrong place, bud. If you're here because you're sick of the machine, sick of the lies, and ready to look at people based on the fruit of their actions rather than the color of their skin, then welcome, my friend. The machine is a paper tiger, the hierarchy is a fraud, and the only thing that matters is the integrity you build for yourself when no one else is watching. That's who I am, and I'm not changing for anyone. Does this... So... Will you stick with me? Will you like, share, and subscribe? Or, with this out of the way, I don't think anybody's going to do that. Ciao.